So as far as the third world aristocrat video from today goes, I gotta say, huge win for the toe and a stroke of genius on my part.
Mr. Radio Voice, he's doing his shows. He's roasting some ass and he's picking his nose. He speaks like a pro on the Steel Toe Show. He's making a mess and everyone knows. Ready or not, he already came. April is a hoe and she's snorting for fame. Another win for the toe. Win for the toe. He spilled the beans. He's rooting for rage as he gets her thrice. Another win for the toe. Win for the toe. He had a felony charge, but he's gonna walk. He's got a big mouth and he talks the talk. Another win for the toe. Win for the toe. He's always a guest with Alex Stein. He's making a wish. He's taking his time. Another win for the toe. Win for the toe.
Everybody now.
Hip hop dibbity dap to the wop 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 wop. Hong dong whittle dangle wang. Oh, he sang dooley mama splatting your hat. Doo to poot cakes.
Good evening and welcome to the Steel Toe Evening Show. It's the nighttime crowd. How are you pieces of shit? You garbage people, you fucking trash pieces of garbage. I just want to see what I can get away with. Thank you to Miss Tay for already starting us off tonight.
I gotta say, huge win for the toe.
Doo to poot cakes.
She gifted a membership. So now we're 3 away today from 500. I did see that about 15 Rumble memberships did not get renewed today. So we have dropped back below 400. Remember to renew those. We do appreciate it. And also 3 away now from 500 over on the YouTube side. So we're getting closer and closer to 1,000 every single month. Thank you guys very much for that. 180 is your number for tonight. Not too bad. You guys are always ahead. Always ahead this evening, crowd. And always doing it, everybody, a little bit at a time. We appreciate you. Busy show tonight. A lot of stuff to talk about. This Karmic X guy. I love Karmic X. Karmic X is my absolute favorite. I want him to be on the morning show. I want him to do like a segment, maybe 15 minutes every week, or maybe 5 minutes every day, where he just gets to go on a rant about whoever. We've got some clips. I'm going to sell you guys on it. I think you're going to love them. We'll see. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. That's for a recorded video. Like and subscribe. Follow the show. Share it up. Tell other people about how goddamn great we are. And welcome for the evening. Buzamok says, I tried to get Karmic on for you, but he's on one today. Give it a day or so, and maybe you can get him. Well, here's the deal. Like, our show is just like a talk show. It's an entertainment, like a morning radio show. It's not like the shows he's used to. Like, no offense, I know some people like Kevin and those guys, and that's fine. But that's old men doing gossip on each other and doing fighting with each other. You know, our show is different. That's why I don't put us in that universe. I see us as just like shit talkers who casually observe things and pick on them, like Jack Doherty today or the Terrance Howard interview. Same thing with like Kevin and that stuff. It's just, we do a real show. So Karmic doesn't have to worry about works and shoots and shit like that. He can just come on. He can be on one and he can fucking go. And I'll maybe ask him a question. I'll maybe ask some follow-up questions, you know? I'll maybe say something like, hey, Karmic, you seeing anybody? And that'll be about it. That'll be about it. I just really want Karmic on the show. Something fresh, you know? Something new. I wrote to Buzamok today and I said, hey, you find any of these fucking guys who are just uninhibited and go for it, ask them if they want to do 10, 15 minutes a week on Steel Toe. I'd love to have them. Love to have them. Busy day today. We got a lot of stuff going on. Thank you very much for the amazing show this morning. Hoping to have an equally good show tonight. We do have some karmic stuff. Boozamak says you can play my X vid. See, we got to keep calling it Twitter, Boozamak, because playing an X vid where I come from is pornography. Yeah, you can play my X vid on Chad if you need to. Let's not call it an X vid on Chad. That's not, it's to a guy my age, that's remarkably misleading. But I will, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Let's see what he's got. We do have to we do have to do some deep research today. We do have somebody finally asked the question, can black people actually hear the chirp from the smoke detector? Is it actually because people have theorized that perhaps the chirp in the smoke detector is at a frequency that black people can't hear and white people can. Maybe we're standing on the precipice of some kind of racial auditory phenomenon that we don't know about. Somebody asked on Twitter today. I was really glad that they did. I went into the comment sections, and I'm stupid, so I thought that we would get an actual answer. We got no such answer, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping we would. But it was all just jokes and silliness and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. And there were black people who were doing jokes and silliness and all that. And I'm like, the fucking audacity of you. I'm sorry, but this is something that deserves a serious answer because we're not asking to be funny. We're not asking to be like, oh, ha, black people, the chirping, right? No, it's starting to drive us fucking insane. In the last month, we've done like 3 news videos where they're talking to a black person and there's a goddamn chirp in the background and it seems like nobody fucking cares. So we'd like an answer to the question. So when white people go, white people are too nice. So black people don't know. Black people like to be, direct. So I'm going to be the white person who's direct. Listen, we're not fucking around. We want to know what the fuck is going on with the chirps. Help us, answer it honestly, or don't answer at all. Sam Show, that is not helping. So as far as like, oh, yeah, it must be because us black people don't know how to... No! You don't get to make a joke. You're the ones who don't fucking change the smoke detector before the news people come over. You have to answer to me. White people have to answer for square dancing and line dancing. I get it. But you have to answer for the smoke detector thing. I'm doing a Karmic X rant. You're going to see later what I mean by that. We deserve an answer like you deserve an answer. We're not going to get to racial harmony unless we both treat each other with respect. You want to know line dancing? We can't Harlem Shake. All right, smoke detectors, your turn. Taste Fairy says, don't you remember the video where the girl didn't even hear it when it was pointed out? Yup. Sean, that answer is funny, but it's not helpful. Billy Bob Norris says, hey, line dancing is okay. Come on. We're not here to defend or stick up for or demonize line dancing. Don't lose the forest for the trees on me here. I'm just trying. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. Guys. Gorilla jokes are not helping. You know how I told black people, stop with the jokes? This is research. Same thing goes to you white devils. No gorillas in the mist and shit like that. Let's figure this out. This is serious questions, demand serious answer. That's it. Roots Calhoun says, I think it's just lack of care. They don't care about their homes, families, children. Why the fuck would they care about a smoke detector running out of batteries? So far, the best answer any of you have given me, still I feel it smacks of a little bit of racism. But it's better. It's going up on the ideas scale and lower on the racism scale. So you guys started up here on the racism scale and down here on the ideas scale. I need it to level out just a little bit. Let's go. Landers, please. Landers, I'm trying to do a show. What did I say about the gorilla stuff? So it was Jake Shields, the fighter. Jake Shields asked the question on Twitter today. He said, I have a question for my black followers. Are you able to hear a chirp when the fire alarm is out of batteries? If you can hear it, does it bother you? Please no racism in the comments section. Now, Jake Shields' theory is that black people can't hear the frequency. There's something, like I said, it's a racial auditory phenomenon. Let's see. So now we go into the comments, and I scrolled through these comments. I went like 25 comments deep because I'm like, I am dying to get the answer to this question. Can black people hear the smoke detector? Malcolm Flex says, I'm sorry, Jake, you just wouldn't understand it from any other angle. But let me put it this way. It's a form of mental and spiritual training to be able to tune out the distractions of life and focus on what holds your present attention. See, that's comedic bullshit. That's bullshit. He's giving a funny, wacky answer. And then this guy, I can't hear it, Jake. White people, please help. And then he shows like African tribesmen running from a smoke detector. But that's what it looks like. That's what I mean. You don't get to make the joke. Black people don't get to go, oh yeah, we're a bunch of ooga booga smoke detectors. But the smoke detector and you don't do anything. So, I mean, help me help you. Another person. Of course we could hear it. Some don't take it seriously. I do. I've never lived with a chirping fire alarm. Then you're not helping me. I need an answer to the fucking question. I need the people who can hear the chirp and who know the chirp to tell me a little bit about the goddamn chirp. Another one says, don't be racist. Of course blacks can hear the chirp, but since it sounds like sneakers on a basketball court, they actually like it. Again! Ha-ha! Fucking great! Pull that shit when we know the answer. When I was a kid, I always heard the chirp and thought it was weird how nobody mentioned it. I literally thought I was losing my mind because nobody ever said anything or reacted but me. I never noticed it was a black thing till I got older and saw it on YouTube. Again, great, awesome story. You're probably very lonely where you live and you just need somebody to type some shit to, but that wasn't the fucking question. Quentin Jammer, who may or may not be the former NFL player. There are some of us who take care of the shit we work so hard to own, but you wouldn't know that because I doubt that any black person with a lick of sense wouldn't invite you into their homes for fear of you turning on them to get clicks. Get defensive all you want, black guy. We're trying to understand you. Isn't that what this is all about? We're supposed to communicate racially so we can figure shit out. I feel vulnerable because I've been giving you the skinny on line dancing and square dancing and smoking meats and other white people shit. You can't do this one goddamn kindness for us? One kindness. Why can you hear the smoke detectors? I think it's people who don't wear seatbelts and their car dings at them the entire time they drive. They purposely ignore it until their body filters out the noise and their brain no longer notices it. Thank you, Helen Moreau. I appreciate, finally, somebody giving us the answer on the smoke detector thing. Okay, so you don't want to deal with it. You wish that it would be out of sight, out of mind, so you don't do anything with it. Good. That works great. But I don't like this idea that you get to joke and you get to ha-ha and do all this shit and then go, and then not give me the answer. And then not give me the answer to the fucking question. I don't like it. We got some people chipping in here. I got to see where I left off in the chat and catch up. Sean Lenane with $1 says, is it 2:30 yet? And then says, I don't hear the chirp because it's just a fucking chicken died and I'm hungry. Nothing makes sense. You guys just, the more I want to know things, the weirder it gets. No, there will never be 2:30 on the evening show. 175 today. 175 is the number. Triple N says, have you had any carbs today? You know, I went to the gym. I fasted for 16 hours like the thing said I should. I had 2 meals today, and now I'm done. My last thing to eat was at 5 o'clock Central Time, and I'm going to go 18 hours for tomorrow. We're going to go 18 hours. We're going to see how that goes. But I don't think I overdid it. I don't think I went crazy, although I will tell you, when you do the fasting thing, when you do eat, you feel really full really quick, like uncomfortably so. So I think I could get used to this. I do. Diesel Cat says, let him burn. Are you really running in to save them? Why are we being racist? Why? I just want an answer to the question. I don't need it to be hurtful. I like the car answer. I like the answer of, you know, when the seatbelt thing dings for some people, they don't respond to it or anything. They just tune it out. Okay. I get that. Root says, me and Klaus from Atomic Shaman have been dying about this for years. I mean, all we have right now are ideas. We don't really have the for sure answer to this. But we have more, I'm not satisfied, but I feel like we have more answers than we came in with. That's all. Billy Bob Norris says, for what it's worth, in all seriousness, yes, please. I have black coworkers, and yes, they do hear the smoke detector. Okay, so what's worse? Like, I feel like if they can't hear it, then, you know, that's understandable that they don't do anything about it. If you can't hear the frequency, what are you going to do? But if you can hear it and you still don't do anything, that's fucked up. Because, like, to me, if a smoke detector starts chirping, you can't live in your own home. You're a prisoner in your own home. You're not at peace because you're just waiting. And you can't perfectly time it. The sound drives you nuts too much because you're trying to do multiple things at once. You're trying to time out when the next one's going to be. You're also in some weird way kind of hoping it doesn't do it again, like it just fixes itself. And then you're trying to pinpoint the location of where the smoke detector is. So it's I don't know why you would hear the smoke detector go off and not change it and not immediately take action, because you can't live peacefully in your own home until that sound is gone. Doom, I did see the Karmic X stream. We are going to go over some of that. I love the guy. I think he's fucking great. I'm a huge fan. I want him to do a 5-minute segment on the show every day where he can just rant about anyone he wants to. Anyone he wants to. Triple N says, I pass out 9-volt batteries in the hood on Christmas. They look at me like I'm crazy. Yeah, Root says, imagine sleeping with that shit. I don't understand how you could. I don't understand how you could. Hulkamash says, a smoke detector woke me up 2 weeks ago, and at 2 a.m, I was checking alarms so I could go back to bed. Exactly. You can't stay up with that fucking beeping. It's completely impossible. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for embracing this conversation. Thank you for indulging me. I feel a little more sane about it, but I still wish we would get more cooperation from the black community on this particular issue, because so far we haven't been getting much. Citizen M, welcome to the chat. I saw you coping about meme copium this morning. I thought that was nice. Couple of people put you in your place on that one. Don't let it stop you. You never have before. Just keep pushing that autism, kid. You'll be fine. I saw that your boy Patrick was having a little bit of a inner conflict, inner turmoil. He's got that sunk cost fallacy with Steel Toe going, where his goal was to put it out of business. He failed, and now there's nothing really to do. We've kind of broken out, beaten him. He's failed completely. Hackamania sounds like it's a mess. Doesn't sound like it's going well. That's too bad. But he's also finding out that what he thought was going to be his great weapon against Steel Toe, Nick, which turned out to be a bust because everybody knows that he lies anytime he opens his mouth. So that's been kind of nice watching that backfire on him. Patrick was torn between his morals, which he has very few of, and his need to stick it to Steel Toe. And unfortunately, his love of Steel Toe, his obsession of Steel Toe, got the better of him. So today, I saw a clip today online. Patrick found out about Nick texting Josh from Kiwi Farms to take down MN Public Records. I don't like it. It's mean to me. Nick's scared shitless of the MN Public Records thing, and he should be. It's humiliated him multiple times. That's how we found out that his daughter got into cocaine. That's how we found out this address thing, and then Nick confirmed it by DMing and texting Josh. And Melton was going, oh, Nick, if you did this, this is embarrassing and gay. This is awful for you. But I don't think you did it. I don't think you did it. Oh, no, Mr. Nick. Oh, no, Master Nick. I can't let anything that's anti-steel toe look like I'm breaking my alliances. Oh, no, Master Nick. I don't think you did it. But if you did, I think it's gay. Patrick, grow a set of fucking balls and not the ones you dangle in your face, and that's how you got those monkeypox sores. I mean, be a fucking man. It's embarrassing at this point. You can't even call a guy out. You're so terrified of steel toe. You're so embarrassed of your loss and the fact that you can't do a fucking show unless it's about steel toe or your audience turns on you, that you have to suck Nick's cock and believe his horseshit. Like you believed all the April stuff he told you when eyewitnesses put him at that house. Come on, Patrick. It's embarrassing at this point. I mean, it's one thing to fail against the toe. The toe stacks wins. There's no shame in that. But to be so blinded by your toe hatred that you can't even see with your own two eyes when you know what the truth is, you still can't acknowledge it because it might look like a win for the toe. Kid, come on. Liberate yourself. Liberate yourself. You know what's true. Nick, that's embarrassing, and that's really bad and embarrassing and gay of you if you did that. But Nikki, I don't think you did. Nick, oh, shucks, say it ain't so massa ricada. Not a good day for him. But then again, look, if you're running an event that's in a hole so bad that you have to change the way you're paying people or kicking people out for bullshit reasons because you know you can't afford it, hell, I'd be stressed too. Sean Linane says another lady not hearing the smoke alarm. So, yeah, I saw you in the chat there, Em, and I just had to point out I saw your little cope tweet over Meme Copium, and I did think it was adorable. Let's go to Sean Linane with $2. Another lady not hearing the smoke detector. Let's take a look. Sean, that one's not. Oh, you didn't put your spaces in for the link. Here we go. I got it, buddy. I got you. Here we go.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me.
That's not, no. Because of the fire. Oh, I get it. She didn't hear this. This is what happens. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't hear the smoke detector being out of batteries. Your house goes on fire.
And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire.
There you go, guys. I mean, that's the way it is. Look, you ignore the smoke detector, you ignore the fire alarm, you ignore it at your own peril. That is why my research is very, very important. Oh, Em, and now you're coping again. Oh, boy. Em, your rage and your cope is usually such a stinky cologne, but today it smells wonderful. Nova says, why does one of Melton's eyes not open all the way? Did some kid stab him in the eye with a sucker stick? That could be the case. It could maybe be. It could also maybe be the monkeypox is just completely taking his eyesight. Whatever those sores are, monkeypox, diabetes, it's all reasonable. It's all reasonable. Let's see. Okay, good. All right, I got an update on Karmic. That's great. All right, I have an intermediary trying to book Karmic for me. I appreciate that. 170 away from today. Thank you guys very much. Looking for a perfect Monday today. We are very, very close. Go ahead and throw in Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. Sean Lenane says my gifted sub individual went up. What the fuck? Not here. Not here, my man. Not here. All right, let's continue on and get into the Karmic X stuff. I love this guy. I want to present this to the audience. I think we played a little Karmic X this morning, and I stated my wish that what I would like to see is this guy come on for 5 or 10 minutes and just roast people. I think it would be a lot of fun to watch this Karmic X guy. So now, Karmic is a dude who I guess he just watches a bunch of shows. I think Kevin maybe had him on, and then Pat Dixon wouldn't have him on, so we got really angry at that, and we watched him rant and rave about Pat Dixon. Whatever the case. Look, it doesn't matter. The fact is, if this guy's mad and this guy's going off, it's good. And I'd like him to come. I'd like to give the guy a platform to spread his passion because he is a very passionate guy. Now, is it fucking gay to be this passionate about shows that have no viewership? Yes, 100%. But that doesn't mean that I'm not fascinated by it. That doesn't mean that I am not fascinated by this whole thing. This is him ranting about our good friend, Gino Bisconti. Not only does he not like Gino's content, not only is he not a fan of Gino Bisconti, but apparently, according to this video, if the title's to be believed, Karmic X would like to eat Gino Bisconti's soul. Now, this is not something I can see Gino allowing Karmic to do willingly, so Karmic would have to do this by force. But it would be an interesting matchup while it lasted. Let's see what the kid's got. Then we're going to take a look at a stream he did today where Karmic X basically cut a 15-minute promo, and I was watching it before the show started, and I have to admit to you guys, I still have no idea who the fuck he cut this promo on. I know he cut it. I know he was yelling at people. I know he was passionate. I have no idea who the target was. This is first Karmic X over the weekend wanting Gino Bisconti's soul.
I want to talk to Gino. I want to eat his fucking soul, motherfuckers.
Bring
him!
I'll do it.
Bring him!
He's not going to do it now.
I want Gino's head on a fucking platter.
I mean, I like Gino. It's the most wanted he's ever been. Comedy clubs, even hell, our own anniversary show. Nobody's wanted Gino this passionately. Not even Kiki has wanted Gino as passionately as Karmic X wants his head and wants his soul. This guy is a treasure. The fact that nobody is putting him on regularly is a travesty.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, he was on
After
Kevin's.
what he did, any man that fucks with another man, fuck him.
I agree with that. So does most religions, I believe.
What?
I'm
You
going to do
wanna
a
fuck with
WABC show.
livelihood? Fuck him.
He
Bring
lost
him
his own
on!
livelihood. He punched Gino in the face.
He deserved it.
So I believe what Karmic X is talking about is he's claiming that Gino fucked with Pat Dixon, but Gino didn't fuck with Pat Dixon. Pat Dixon punched Gino in the face and busted his jaw. That's not a great idea. Maybe not for Karmic's first appearance on the show, but we let him go a few rounds on the show, and then at some point we put him on with Gino. I think that could be a good episode. So that's kind of a sampling of what Karmic does. And again, I love what Karmic does. I think he's great. But today he went on this rant, and I was listening to it because I was trying to pick out spots that I could use for the show. The problem is, like, the whole rant, the whole 15 minutes is the same promo. Like, it doesn't have a start and an end. It's just this nebulous thing that kind of goes on. It's a maze, but it has no entrance point and no exit point. So I just decided to start at the 9-minute part and show you guys Karmic X today. This is why I guess he's not getting back to me. My intermediary is telling me that this Karmic X guy, he needs a day to calm down. He's a little fired up. He was shooting, he was ripping, he was getting after it on a little 15-minute stream today. We're going to get back to him in a few days, but I just wanted you guys to see this and tell me what you thought, again, about this guy maybe having 5 minutes. Now, Helgi is like, is this a radio show or a Dabbleverse show? I'm talking about giving a guy 5 fucking minutes in the morning because he's an interesting character and I'd like him to go off. Don't be so weird. Sean Linane gifting a membership over on Rumble. Thank you very much, buddy. 165 away from tonight. Thank you very much. Again, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. So this was Karmic today. In fact, I think this ended like just before we got on the air. This is Karmic X. Looking a little bit like a Downsy Logan Paul, I would say. Like, this almost looks like a Logan Paul WWE entrance getup that he's got here. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know who this rant is directed towards. All I know is that Karmic, you'll find out in this promo, is a man. And he's going to be straight with you. And he has heart. And he has soul. Outside of those 4 major points, I'm not really sure what the message is that he's trying to convey. So the floor is his.
Narrative and storyline all together. That's what I see. It's all a bunch of people just doing pro wrestling horse shit to pad their fucking wallets. That
really, no, look, not trying to criticize because, again, I want this guy to be part of the team. I'm not sure you can call other people pro wrestling when you have a glittery green screen backdrop. You're dressed like a Michael Jackson 1980s music video. I'm really not sure, as you're cutting a promo dressed in a costume, you can really criticize others for doing pro wrestling. But I'm not. Look, I want this relationship to get off on the good foot, so I don't want to continue.
That's what I see. And I tried to empathize and give a fuck about these fools. Never again.
Yeah, that was a terrible
Done.
mistake.
It's all about me moving forward, motherfuckers.
Okay.
Okay?
Yo, all right.
I'm going to stream for hours on end, and I will wear anybody the fuck out who wants to fuck with this world.
But how is that going to wear? And this is what I don't get about any of these guys. And by the way, this guy's like the same as Melton and Brennan. Like, I see these guys all as the same person, the same attitude, the same vibe. I'll stream forever and I'll wear anybody out. Yeah, but what if the people you're trying to wear out just don't care? Like, that's what I never understood about all these people and their whole attitude. Like, I'm going to stream and say words about this person forever. I'm like, what if they don't care? Like, what if they just don't give a shit? Then you're just kind of screaming into the void. If you want to yell and scream and holler about people, then do it. But do it because you like it and you think it's funny and you think it's entertaining. Don't do it like, I'm going to destroy this person. Like, you saw how Melton and his fans failed at that. I mean, I got to completely roast one of them on the phone at the gym today, and they didn't even know it was me. I got them to hang up. They were fucking embarrassed. They were talking in a whimper. Scott has his name. I'll give it to you tomorrow. But anyway, he's been harassing Scott and like leaving messages at like midnight when Scott's not there. And he leaves these rambling, drunken, drugged out messages. And today he called Scott and Scott goes, you take them. I said, all right. And I go, what do you need, sir? And he goes, I want to talk to Coach Mo. I said, what? You need to speak up. I need you to talk like a man. He goes, I want to know if I can talk to Coach Mo. Come on. I said, speak up, son. I can't fucking hear you. He goes, what? Why are you cursing? I'm like, I can't understand you. You got shit in your mouth. Take the shit out of your mouth. And he goes, you don't say I have shit in my mouth. I'm just looking for a membership for my kid. And I went, bullshit. How many times did you call and leave a message last night, you weirdo? Click. Got him to hang up. And I don't even think he knew who it was, but he definitely got yelled at. He got a little timid, and he lost his courage, and he hung up the phone. It was too bad. And then, like, don't be a bitch. Like, if you're going to call and confront someone, call and confront them. When they get the one up on you and they give you actual dad energy, don't then try to spin it into some bullshit like, I'm trying to get my kid a membership. That's why I kept yelling at him. I'm like, be a fucking man, dude. And then I finished my rounds, and Scott and I had a good laugh at your expense again. All right, so Karmic's continuing on here. He's going to wear everyone down with all of his streaming, I guess.
Got it? I hope you do. I hope it's sinking in very fucking clearly. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of explaining the world why I exist.
Again, I know this is causing you stress and it's making you upset, but I don't think that's necessary. I don't think you need to explain to the world why you exist. We all took biology. We understand. I think the basics of it. Your mom, your dad, they were either married and wanted a kid, or they got drunk and they hooked up. However it happens, they fucked, and now you're here.
I exist in spite of you. Just remember that, world. Just remember that.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of wrestlers like when they cut promos back in the 80s before they had writers. You know, like the, what's the guy? Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. You know, like before they had people writing what you were going to say, they gave you bullet points. So like, go out here and talk about this. And they would kind of run around in circles and then finally get back to it. Karmic is like an 80s indie wrestler.
So what else should I say? Should I carry on for another hour how the world did me wrong? I have fucking hours upon hours of that in the past. I'm done fucking explaining my way of life.
Okay.
I don't have to owe anybody a thing.
He never said you did.
Nothing.
That's kind of my thing. As I said to you guys when I started this, I was like, who's he arguing with? Like, I never understand these rants people go on. I'm like, you need to tell me who the target of this is, because so far I'm confused.
Nothing. There's only one person in this fucking
God?
world I give a shit
God.
about, and that's me.
Oh, fuck. I thought it was God. Long Dragon.
That's the way it's going to be, bitches. If you don't like it, fuck off. Watch something else. I don't give a fuck. Ooh, Karmic's losing it. No, Karmic's being Karmic now.
Oh, shit. Well, then I want this. Bring this Karmic over to the Steel Toe Show, and let's see if we can make some magic. Who are the bitches?
Now this is what you wanted. You wanted this, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You think I'm trying to be cool? No.
No. No. I will tell you this with 1,000% certainty. From the zippers on your jacket to this rant you're going on, I agree with you. I do not believe you're trying to be cool. You and I are simpatico on this point.
No, I'm just giving you what I got. And whatever the fuck this is, enjoy it or move along.
I'm here, buddy.
I don't care.
Yes, you do.
Doesn't matter to me.
It should.
I gotta prove to the fucking world that some men actually have a fucking heart left in this fucking goddamn unforsaken world.
See, now that's like the gayest thing you could have said. You have to prove that. But this is what I don't get. Like, I have to prove that some men still have a heart left in this fucking world. By what? Hitting live on YouTube and talking into a microphone? That's how we're going to prove to the world that men still have a heart. Like, go volunteer at a shelter. You know, feed some homeless people. Rescue some dogs. I don't really understand how this is showing that men still have heart.
And then when I try, it gets stabbed 6 ways to Sunday.
See, that's what I mean about the pro wrestler cutting a promo thing. Like, that's like Jumpin' Jeff Farmer when he's like, when you backstab me and you cheat me one way or the other. It's like you mixed up a couple of things there.
It's not going to be fucking touched anymore. That's the way it's going to be.
That's the way it is. Things will never be the same.
I've done my way in life, and nobody can understand it. Not a soul.
Kind of like this promo, because I'm not following. I don't get. But here's my thing about Karmic. I love the energy. I love the confidence. He's like a teratoma. Do you know what a teratoma is? So a teratoma is a tumor that contains within it all of the elements necessary for human life. It's got hair, teeth, sweat glands, all kinds of things, but it never becomes life. It never takes the human form. It just rests inside you as a tumor. It's a teratoma. Karmic is a podcast teratoma. He has all the elements that make up an entertaining personality. He's got fire. He's got passion. He can talk. He can project, all of that stuff. It's just, he's directionless. And that's why I want him to have a daily or weekly spot on Steel Toe, so we can have some direction and channel this energy into something, even if it's putting Gino's head on a platter, even if it's taking Gino's soul. If it's going to be Karmic's soul taking 5 minutes, let's do it.
Nobody will fucking understand my way. And that's just how it's going to be. So I'm going to be here by myself at this fucking world. By myself. I live by myself this way the whole
I live alone. I train alone. I win the title alone. And I pity the fool who tries to take what I got.
my whole fucking life.
He's the Clubber Lang of podcasting.
I ain't changing a goddamn thing.
And why?
Try and change me.
That chair looks like it totally belongs there. Rising up.
I'm unchangeable.
Back on the streets.
I am a free agent. I do what I want to do.
You heard it here first, folks. He's a free agent. Well, let me be the first, Shadur Sanders, to offer you a roster spot. Not any spot, my spot, liver spot, dog spot, but a spot. I love Karmic. I don't know what the fuck he was just talking about. I don't know what any of that shit meant. I have no idea who he's shouting at. I don't know who the target of this rant is. All I know is I love it, and I never want it to stop. Ever, 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 ever. Triple N says, Elton yawn, am I right? I like that. Don't show yourself out. I like that. I like Elton yawn. Doom says, I listened to him all weekend laughing my ass off. Scram Person says, I do a real show, proceeds to do an entire hour on Karmic X. Yeah, I find him funny, so I'm going to bring him to you, like I've been doing for years and years. Buzamok says, I don't think this is the way to win Karmic over to come on. No. Don't misunderstand me. I'm a huge fan. It's like the black people and the smoke detectors thing. I just have questions that I don't feel have been properly answered. Like, who are you talking to and why are you doing this? And that's why I want him to have a regular spot. There's fire, there's vibe, there's energy there. I want to harness it. Again, he's a teratoma. I want to give it life and give it direction because he's just shouting at people. But I don't know who these people are. Doomclone says he smokes 2 packs a day and drinks in the early afternoon. My kind of guy. My kind of guy. I want him here. Now, see, Dildo says wet brain thoughts. No. Rekida's wet brained. He's got, Karmic still got hope. I'm telling you right now. Karmic still got some hope. Pat Dixon brought us Karmic, then Brennan. You know what, though? They did it to make fun of him. They did it to mock poor Karmic. We're not doing it to mock Karmic. We're doing it to give Karmic a forum, if you will. I want Karmic to come in here, and I want him to take whatever the fuck this is, and I want it, like I said, to be able to give it direction. This ain't hate teaching. This is love teaching. Telling you. Oh, boy. You know what, though? I think we can get him. I know people are saying this isn't the way. This isn't how you're going to get. No. We're going to get him because we're going to treat him with respect. I see something. There's something there. I'm telling you. All right, we're going to go away from that. We're going to go to something different. We're going to switch gears. Now, I've sent my volley across the net. I've made my offer to our friend Karmic. I now just wait on his response. All right, let's go to this story out of Buffalo. This is definitely a change of pace. I'll grant you that. But this was sent in by a viewer this morning, and I didn't have time to take a look at it. But it's really starting to gain traction, not just in the Buffalo area where it came out of, but it's starting to become like a national story. Apparently, there is a school in Buffalo where there's been almost ritualistic abuse in this school district, and it's being swept under the rug. And it was the highlight of like a 35-minute podcast episode where apparently, if you take a look, these guys just drink White Claws. It's a shitload of White Claw cans just sitting out there. Oh, and some Busch Light. So they just drink White Claw and Busch Light, and at least they're hydrating. And then they talk about like abuse, and they talk about like these scandals that are going on that nobody knows about. This got sent to me by a viewer. It's pretty wild. I mean, and we've been seeing an uptick in these, like whether it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever with the schools. It seems like there's more sex teachers and shit getting arrested now than there have been in recent years. Like it's picking up.
A story involving a Buffalo police detective with the Special Victims Unit. In this podcast, Richard High accuses the Buffalo School District of obstructing investigations into allegations of child abuse and sexual assaults among students. Those accusations are now going viral on that YouTube podcast. And also, our WK...
I'm just really glad that Corey Adam decided to speak up and blow the whistle on this whole thing. I've been wondering, I haven't heard from Corey in a few months. Like we were talking about like we'll text a lot during Viking season, and then it kind of falls off after that. But I see that when the Vikings aren't playing, this guy's he's fighting for justice. And it's good to see my buddy doing big things.
KBW Facebook page where more than 200 of you have left comments on the story. Detective High spoke with 7 News senior reporter Maki Becker Saturday night, and tonight I'm breaking down more of that conversation along with what the school district is saying.
This is real, and this can affect my life, but it's at the moment where it's one of those things where you got to do the right thing or not.
Buffalo Police Detective Richard High opening up in a recent podcast that's already nearing half.
I love how all of these guys have like lumberjack beards, and they're just dressed like guys, and they got camo hats on. And what are we drinking? We're drinking Keanu's favorite drink. We're fucking pounding hard seltzers, boys. And then the one guy who looks the least like camo hatted out of all of them, he's got the Busch Light in front of him, which is still piss water. But I mean, I see a bunch of guys who look like they could be like an Alabama cover band, and they're just pounding the claws.
500,000 views. He's accusing Buffalo Public Schools of obstructing child abuse and sexual assault investigations.
Schools are mandated reporters, and that is one of the reasons why I went on my friend's podcast to talk about.
Right. Schools are mandated reporters. So let's say you have 5 children, and let's say those 5 children come to school stinky and hungry, and they report that to their teachers, or let's say they report it to a pastor. Well, that teacher and that pastor then have to report that to the authorities, and then they have to bust a guy for having coke all over his face while, say, like he's on a live stream or something, who let his child get into his cocaine. And then it basically blows up that person's world, and they have to have a 1-year jealousy rage out about a man who I think they see as their ex-boyfriend, which that's not a mutual feeling, but that's how they feel. So that's what a mandated reporter is. So like when kids are stinky and hungry and their parents maybe, let's say, are doing a shitload of drugs and being immoral, let's say a guy's being a total piece of shit, the teacher then has to report that so that he can get that monster away from children until they can figure out what the fuck is going on.
The issue with specifically the Buffalo school system and their intentional lack in support of our investigations into students at the schools.
High sat down.
This is what I worry about. Like, I worry that the public schools are the private schools, are the Catholic schools, are the Catholic Church, are the Jewish schools, are the, like, there's no, The Catholic Church is the easy one because we know about it. But who's to say that this, because nobody wants to look bad. You know, nobody wants to be embarrassed nationally. We know what the cost of, you know, child abuse scandals, whether it be physical or sexual or drug related or anything like that. We know what the social pariah level is. If you get caught or your institution gets caught doing that, it could be over for you. So nobody wants to be the principal or the chancellor or the bishop or the cardinal or the pope who's in charge when that shit happens. So there is a strong impetus to sweep it under the rug. And so while you can understand the motivation to do it, it still doesn't make it any less monstrous and disgusting when you find out it happens. And when you find out it happens in one place, then your brain starts working and you go, is this every place? Is this just the place that got caught? What are we dealing with here? And thank God there's ballsy people like this guy, like this detective, who will come out and go, this might cost me my job, but this is fucked up.
Down with senior reporter Maki Becker Saturday to explain why he's speaking out.
The schools and their administration and the legal representatives for that administration are intentionally killing cases, preventing information from going to detectives in the assistant district attorney's office, and even destroying evidence and ignoring subpoenas.
High also described a case where a student was sexually assaulted near a school pool.
Unfortunately, that...
Okay, then the person who covered that up, not only should we fire them, we should throw them in prison. If we lived in a more civilized time, we'd just, form some gallows and hang them. But I guess, we live like animals now, and we let people like that continue to live. I do want to thank 191 Redbird quickly with $5. He says, talk to your local SRO. This is happening in every public school in the country. You're naive if you think this is an outlier. Well, that's what I go to when I hear stories like this, that this is happening everywhere. Well, I mean, talk to most parents and they'll tell you some form of story about how they feel their kid was bullied or mistreated and the school didn't do anything about it. So, how far of a leap is it, technically speaking? Bat Dixon with 199 says, you want to live in my cave? I'll keep you safe. No, Bat Dixon. Wait, what does Bat Dixon take? Batterall? It's like, because
that case did not get reported. If I'm not mistaken, it was the principal of the school who, quote unquote, did their own investigation and then deemed that the girl was a liar and then wrote a scathing report.
But a district
So not only did they not do anything about it, but then they said, well, we were going to look into this, but this girl's a liar, and then basically just shit on this person who claimed that they were abused.
Spokesperson denied the claims, calling them unfortunate and untrue, and vowing to vigorously address these untruths. In a Facebook post.
But then I go to that and I see, the school says that's not true. Then I have to go, what motivation does this detective have to lie about this? What could he possibly gain from lying about the kid being assaulted at a school pool? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, why would he make this up?
Superintendent Dr.
Because it's not going to do him any favors. He might lose his job over this.
Tanja Williams-Knight shared she will be taking a break from social media.
This specific episode was something that was really weighing on my conscience. I say it even in the episode that a week prior, I'd started getting counseling because of it.
The police union president told 7 News High's podcast shows his passion for the job and that he has the union's support. But High, who also runs the Angry Cops page, has made headlines numerous times in the past. In February, Investigative Post reported that the Attorney General's office found High had been repeatedly discourteous, escalating civilian encounters and sometimes using force. And with possible...
So this guy might be a bit of an old school ass-kicking cop, and that rubs the Attorney General the wrong way. All right, so there's a lot of sides to this story, but then, that makes it sound like the Attorney General's trying to run cover for the school. I mean, if this stuff gets out there and it goes public, what would it hurt the Attorney General to look into this and investigate this?
Disciplinary
And this is
action
what the
on the
legal
line
process
for
is weird to
speaking
me.
out. High says he's willing to take that risk.
I'd like to see the people that are responsible for preventing children getting the appropriate amount of victim care to be held responsible.
And
I mean, you ever think that maybe this guy's angry or this guy's worked up or this guy gets upset because there's shit worth getting worked up about? Like maybe the stuff that he's mad about is shit, again, that you probably should be upset about. I mean, it makes sense to me. Let's go. We got a bunch of people throwing in here. Let's get to 191 Redbird with $5 says they use the word untruth because they cannot be held legally liable. All right. Well, I don't know, man. Like, I don't understand why this cop would just make this shit up. I mean, there doesn't seem to really be a benefit to him to do that. Hulkamasha Baby with $5 says Rich is an amazing guy. The podcast is unsubscribe, and I listen to every episode. They're mostly all ex-vets that became huge YouTubers. I think you'd resonate with a lot of what they say. Then I'm not going to talk any more shit about them drinking White Claws. They can drink whatever the fuck they want, and if they drink it out of skulls, that's fine too. I didn't mean anything about the White Claw crack. Everything is fine. We're all friends. We're good. Gray Duckling with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much, Gray Duckling. Throw the kid a Hulkster for the effort.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Thank you very much, Gray. Wow, thank you. That is very nice of you. And Redbird with another $10. Thank you very much. He says a girl was grabbed and stuffed in a car before escaping in front of the school, and the staff deleted the footage and tried to force the girl to not report it to her parents. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking out for your own ass more than you're looking out for that kid, to me, firing that person is not enough. To me, it's got to be more than firing. It's got to be the threat of jail on that one. Also, we have to put Gray. Oh, we got to move some people around here. Gray Duckling is now at 45 for this week. That's good enough for third place. Brian M at 40 is now in fourth, and we have to bump Eric, unfortunately. Thank you guys very much. That puts us at 120 for tonight. Holy shit. Thank you guys very much. That's fantastic. Sean Linane, 09 Canyon, Roots, Just Joy, and Scram Person all got memberships from that gift drop. Wow. Look at that. Look at that sweet drop from Redbird and Gray and, yes, Bat Dixon. I unironically love the name Bat Dixon. Then we've got B. Kirsch with $5. Thank you very much, B. Kirsch. He says, used to watch all the time on Twitch. Hope all is well despite the shit. All is fantastic. All is fantastic, brother. Thank you very much. And Flinty Gecko with 10 gifted memberships over on YouTube. Guess what? That's going to put us over the 500 mark on YouTube. We're right around the 400 mark on Rumble, so we are pushing 1,000 subs/memberships, depending on which platform it is. Shit, keep them going. Thank you, guys. Unbelievable. $90 away from tonight. Well, there's Redbird with another 5. Never mind. A lot of people want to talk about this uncensored podcast. A lot of people want to see, this doesn't make me feel better, though, about the idea that perhaps this is more common than we think. That when it comes to covering up shit at schools, at churches, at all this other stuff, that it's a lot more widespread than we'd like to think. Thank you, Sean Linane, for gifting another membership. Gray Duckling got that one. And we are now 80 away from today. Redbird with $5 says these guys are on a first-name basis with most of the Trump administration. This will get ugly. Well, could you tell them to work on the Epstein thing? Because I'm still going with my conspiracy theory that Trump is way more in on the Epstein shit than we believe he is. And that's why he's, all this bluster and all this, we're going to release all the Epstein stuff is coming out. Don't you worry. And it hasn't come out. Epstein died during the first Trump administration. Now this Virginia Guffrey, she's dead now during the Trump administration. I think this is a classic example of hiding in plain sight. That the Trump administration people are making all this noise and they're making all this distraction. We're going to release Epstein. We're going to release Epstein. We're going to release Epstein. And then the clock will run out on those 4 years. And then when nothing happens, Trump skates, Trump leaves. We never find out what happened. But he gets to play the good guy who looked like he was going to release the information, and he can blame the whole thing on the deep state. Hulkamash with $1 says there was another girl that reported abuse, then showed up with video, and it wasn't until she was beaten black and blue that they did anything. So that's an episode worth watching then. Because somebody sent me that whole episode, and I knew we couldn't do, it was like a 35-minute episode of that uncensored podcast. I knew we couldn't do the whole thing on the show, but holy shit, just that one news story. I mean, that thing's starting to go all over the place. Adam Simon with $1. Thank you very much, buddy. And thank you guys very much for everything you've done so far tonight. Absolutely very gracious of you. Gray Duckling with $1 says, wait, what show is this? Oh, sorry. This is Steel Toe. Helgi with $10. All right, what do we got from Helgi here? 70 away from this evening. Thank you very much, pal. Helgi's got something for us. This is, no, wait a minute. What the fuck does this have to do with this is a 16-year-old Onion News Network story. What is this?
John McCain is facing new competition on the campaign trail. Jane Carmichael has details in the war for the White House election analysis bunker. Jane?
Thank you, Andrea. A new third-party presidential candidate is cutting into John McCain's base of support, attracting voters who feel McCain is not grizzled and ornery enough.
Washington drowned in snake oil salesman, and I'm going to run him out, dagnabbit.
Jode Kressbeckler, an independent from the Black Hills, officially
does
entered
this
the race
have
for
to
the
do
White
with
House
anything?
this morning. GOP officials are worried Kressbeckler could play a spoiler role similar to Ralph Nader in 2000.
I got a tax plan for you. Here it goes right now.
By the way, Grape Ape, nice cope. I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, Helgi, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you, but I have no idea what the fuck that meant. I have no idea what that had to do with anything whatsoever. But thank you. 70 away from tonight. Thank you guys very much. That was, we were kind of going on that whole uncensored podcast story, and then Helgi just out of nowhere just decided to pull the fucking e-brake, didn't he? Thank you, buddy. All right, we got more clips from this Terrance Howard, Bill Maher interview. I don't know if Terrance Howard is just, if he's got a lot of fuck you in him and he's got all his money and he's fine and he's just decided I don't ever want to be in show business again, or if Terrance Howard is testing whether or not he's still famous enough to get murdered for things he said. But Terrance Howard is getting after it. So far, he's accused P. Diddy of trying to fuck him in the ass, which, yeah, in fairness, that's kind of kicking Diddy while he's down, to be sure. He's accused, like he said, P.D. Pablo was blacklisted because he said that rappers were getting fucked up the butt by music executives so they could have a career, that they were literally buck breaking the rappers in the business like they used to slaves if they thought they were in charge. And now he's coming back with his John F. Kennedy assassination theory. Now, when they released all that paperwork on the JFK assassination, it certainly did look like maybe Mossad, Israeli intelligence, Jews, maybe were sneaking in to the JFK whodunit sweepstakes. A lot of people, though, before all that paperwork came out and before Ben Shapiro said, hey, man, nothing to see here, a lot of people thought it was a Federal Reserve type thing. Well, I guess. I love how I'm like, yeah, before this, nobody's scent was really on the Jew trail. Anyway, the bankers. But a lot of people were on this Federal Reserve thing that JFK wanted to shut down the Federal Reserve. I believe it's Executive Order 11110. And that JFK wanted to shut down the Federal Reserve and back the currency with silver. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to back the United States currency with silver and shut down the Federal Reserve and take away their ability to borrow money. Print money is not really what it is. I mean, they didn't really, quote unquote, print money until the Great Recession of 2008. Print money is kind of a euphemism. They really didn't start printing the money until they basically started buying treasury bills themselves. They just buy the treasury bills and release the cash. That was when they actually that was when they actually started printing the money. Let's go to Terrance Howard and his idea of who done it with JFK.
Did you hear what I heard about what got him killed?
Oh, I think we all know generally what got him killed, but what's your theory?
The night before, he had signed an executive order ordering that the Federal Reserve would no longer be printing the dollars, that the U.S. government will now print the dollars.
The Federal Reserve is the U.S. government.
Bill's a smart guy, too. That's disappointing. That Bill's like, the Federal Reserve is the United States government. It's not the Federal Reserve is such a weird thing because, libertarians like to say, well, it's a totally independent bank. Well, it's not totally independent. Like, the Federal Reserve is very strange. Anyone who says they can explain to you the Federal Reserve easily is oversimplifying it to push an agenda. The Federal Reserve is a private-public or public-private bank. It's semi-regulated and semi-watched over by the United States federal government, but it has far more autonomy than anything else that's even remotely tied to the United States government. So it's a little, people like to play their word games. The left nowadays likes to play their word games with the Federal Reserve to act like it is part of the government. The right and libertarians especially, which, come on, turn 15 years old. Let's update our philosophy. Libertarians like to go, nope, it's completely private bank. The truth is probably closer to the private bank thing, but not totally private.
Federal Reserve is a separate entity
of the U.S. government. It's still part of the U.S.
Separate thing.
It has less congressional control, correct, than cabinet positions or any other department. Yes, that's for a good reason. You don't want you don't want to politicize. Funny enough, Trump's doing that now.
Let's act like every president. Let's not act like every president doesn't try to influence the balls and strikes that the head of the Federal Reserve calls. Let's not act like they don't frame the pitch. If they want interest rates cut, let's not act like they don't cheerlead a certain decision that they'd like to see done, and like they don't shit on the Federal Reserve when they don't, in their mind, take enough action.
I heard what I've researched and found. It was comparable to what happened to Abraham Lincoln. He wanted to do the same thing, start printing money himself instead of having the Federal Reserve, because this was the problem with the Fed. If the Fed say Congress need $20 billion, the Feds print, they get the order, they print up the $20 billion. They never print up the interest, because there's interest on that $20 billion that they just did. They've never printed up enough money to pay the interest, so they were always going to be in debt. So I heard that Lincoln, and I would love to find it, that Lincoln had ordered that the Federal Reserve wouldn't be printing money or whatever, and he was going to print it himself, and the same thing was happening with Kennedy, and I could be wrong.
Kennedy did, it is true, Kennedy did want to back the dollar with silver. And we did play the clip Bat Dixon with 199 says, who buck broke who between you and Nick? Nick wanted me to, but I didn't want to do it to him. I didn't. He was a creepy guy. He was a weird guy. He's got some problems with his sexuality that he's got to work out. I think that's where a lot of his anger issues and a lot of his seething comes from, is he hasn't come to grips and moved past it yet. Still isn't over me, which I would highly recommend he do. I mean, it's hard to watch, you know. The other night, he's outside my house with a boombox, holding it up like say anything. It's fucking embarrassing. CJ with $5 says, 0 chance Trump is on that list. Biden DOJ would have leaked it. No. Let me continue on with my Trump Epstein theory that I will admit I've pulled completely out of my own asshole. Biden is never going to release, or was never going to release, the Epstein stuff if Trump was on there, because fucking Biden's on there. The Clintons are on there. A lot of Democrats. That's the beauty of Mossad and Epstein and the game they ran. And it's the brilliance of these Diddy parties, too. It didn't know a political affiliation. There were no Democrats. There were no Republicans. There were just CEOs, presidents, senators, heads of state, on a plane, fucking teenagers, having pictures and videos taken of it, going to an island, doing the same thing, and then they're told afterwards, by the way, that girl's 14. If we want to go to war in the West Bank or Gaza, you're going to give us every fucking dime we need for it. So Biden's not going to give that info up because it's a suicide pact. You want to rat out a Republican, you're ratting out 3 Democrats and vice versa. So no, they're not. Biden would have never released that shit on Trump, even if he had it. No way, no how. No, Just Joy. Just remember, usually when Nick says something, it's usually a projection of himself. And the guy, every time he opens his mouth, is pretty much telling a lie. Like, I haven't talked to April since January. And then he texts Null. He texts Josh and says, take down MN Public Records, please. It's going to ruin my life. And Josh just goes, stop cheating. Oh, the cope that was needed for that one. He needed a little bit of Watkins salve. It burned so deep. Redbird with $5 says, every American president in our history that had an attempted or successful assassination has messed with the banks. Well, you have the Jackson one. The Andrew Jackson one is my favorite one, because Jackson didn't come out with like Andrew Jackson was like, well, I might print it with silver. Andrew Jackson's attitude was burn down the fucking Federal Reserve and we'll figure it out later. That was it. We're going to tear down I think it was the Bank of America, the Bank of the United States of America. And he said, let's tear it down. And the Supreme Court said, we don't think you can. And he's like, fuck you, watch me. And he shut it down. Later, during his presidency, Andrew Jackson would be confronted outside the Capitol by a man with 2 pistols. On a humid day in Washington, D.C., he pointed both pistols at Andrew Jackson, fired one. The powder was damp. It misfired. Fired the second one. It did the same thing. Security's able to tackle the guy, but they're not able to restrain Andrew Jackson, who I believe was in his 60s or 70s at this point, who takes out a hickory cane that the old fucker still carried on him and just started whipping the dog piss out of the guy with the hickory cane. One of the greatest attempted assassination stories of all time. Brian says, when the body cam footage from the Baldo bunker drops, it is over for Rekieta. Yeah, I think they're going to get it too. And then Sean was saying that MN Public Records has, 70 pages of documents still to drop and investigations. I mean, Sean's been right about everything so far, much to the chagrin of old piss pants Rekieta. But I think that I don't think the most damning stuff. I don't think the most damning stuff has come out yet. And I don't know. I'm not privy to any information. I don't know what's on its way, but I don't think the worst of it has come out yet. I'll say that. Thank you guys very much. Oh, by the way, Redbird has now moved into first place. Look at this kid with his 105 showing up Orange Boy. So we got Redbird in first at 105. We've got Orange Boy in second at 100. Gray Duckling in third with 45. Brian M. in fourth with Redbird. I just got done updating your total, my man. And there's the guy again. All right. Thank you, Redbird. Appreciate that. Another 5 coming from our top man. He says, every assassin has also been a crazy lone gunman we never know about. Yeah, isn't that something? Isn't that something that we just never fucking know about the guy? He just pops up like an RKO, just out of nowhere. We never had any clue, never had any chance of getting the guy. Thank you very much. Atomic Ray with $1 says, may not need the Epstein logs. Look at YouTube chat for people worried about a pedo list. I see what you did there. By the way, 60 away from tonight. God damn, you evening show people are fucking effortless. I tell you what. Thank you so much. 60 is the number for this evening. Again, thank you very much. The absolute best audience there is. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. And if you're currently watching and you're having a hard time with the hard truths we're laying down, just know it's a comedy show. We're just fucking with you. We're just busting your balls. Don't take it so serious. Don't be like these other assholes that I've broken who have to do fucking pity parties every Friday for themselves because they couldn't get their fucking goal accomplished. Sorry, I still hit live. So we've got we got $60 left. We have chat. Oh no, Buzamok says, Aaron, clip of the game you requested up on X from this show. I didn't request anything, Buzamok. I didn't request anything. So whatever you're saying that I requested, I have a feeling that you and I are still not communicating effectively. Because every time, Buzamok, you tell me that you've got something for me and that it's exactly what I asked you to do. In fact, in your tweets, you say, again, as requested by Aaron, I don't believe I requested this. And maybe I need to apologize. Maybe there's some vibe I'm giving off. Maybe there's something that I keep saying that you keep thinking that I want you to post it. I'm not sending you like any weird signal. I'm not like doing any weird, hand gestures. We're not doing like base stealing signals or anything like that. It's just, if I need something, I'll tell you, buddy. CJ with $2 says, more likely Trump's friends are being protected. Well, his lawyer, the guy he had as his attorney for a while, Jew name. That really narrows it down. Not Alan Greenspan. Dershowitz. Dershowitz was big with Epstein. So that's a possibility, too, that Trump is helping out his buddies. Let's take a look at what Buzamok has here. I'm going to press X to doubt that this is something I asked for, but let's take a look. I will admit I've pulled completely out of my own asshole. But Buzamok, that's not what I'm not trying to question your honesty. I'm just saying that may be out of context because that I was saying I'm pulling facts out of my own asshole. It was a metaphor. It wasn't literal. And I don't know. Chad Buzamok says our communications must be off. Yeah. I think they are. This is, I don't think you and I are on the same wavelength, my man. I really don't. And you know what? And Buzamok, this has been a very conspiratorial show tonight. I'm going to throw out a conspiracy theory here real quick. I feel like you're not trying to understand, and I feel like you're just kind of doing what you want to anyway. I know it sounds crazy. I know it's a wild accusation for me to throw your way, but I feel that way. Buzamok says, I asked people to guess it's the game. Facts may be the right answer, but I'm sure there will be better ones. That's, again, it was a metaphor for the Trump conspiracy theory that I had. And I don't I don't think you're actually doing this in an honest fashion. Call me crazy. Hey, did you guys see any of this Bill Belichick interview? This was wild. And you don't have to be a sports fan to be into this. Although, I will say this, you're fucking gay if you don't like sports. I'm tired of the fact that we've gotten to this point in America, and it's going to lead to our downfall, where being a fucking dweeby gay guy who's like, I don't like sports ball, is somehow like a noble thing. If you don't like sports, you're a fucking mo, because it's the easiest thing to socialize about when you got nothing to talk about at parties. There will always be a group of guys talking about football, baseball, basketball, hopefully not hockey, or their golf game, something like that. And they'll have something to talk about. If you don't like sports, you're an antisocial weirdo. So this momentum that's been gaining the last 10, 15 years in society, where comic books and video games are somehow cool, and watching sports, think, you like sports. If you don't like sports, have the decency to shut the fuck up and go play with your little toys in the basement. No, I know, they're collectible action figures. It's Warhammer and you painted them yourself. Keep that to yourself too, because that's fucking gay. Watch the game. Be a man, talk to friends outside about sports. It's killing us that you're not. At any rate, you don't have to be a sports fan to be into this. Phil Herslit says, are you saying Melton is an antisocial weirdo? Yes, with gay scabs on his face, too. Redbird with $1 says, fuck you, updated again. God damn it. Oh, now you're at 111. That's actually kind of fun. Thank you, buddy. So now, you don't have to be a sports fan to be into this Bill Belichick interview, because this isn't really an analysis of sports. This is an analysis of what it takes to keep a 20-something-year-old girlfriend if you're 70 years old. And Bill Belichick was being interviewed by, I believe, CBS Sports. Now, the rational thing to do when you're the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels and you're talking to someone about your career, you've won a shitload of Super Bowls, the girlfriend doesn't come with to the fucking interview, all right? She stays her ass at home, or she goes out shopping while you're recording the interview. She doesn't sit there in the room. This chick was in the room, not only in the room, helping Bill answer questions. And this makes me lose so much respect for Bill Belichick, because as much of a prick as he is, as much of an asshole as Bill Belichick is, I still think of him as a symbol of like masculinity, of like, you know, he's the fucking Darth Vader of football. He's Emperor Palpatine. He's the fucking no bullshit, take no prisoners architect of 6 Super Bowl championships. 2 more as a coordinator under Bill Parcells. And now he's got his fucking college-age bitch sitting in on the interview with him, telling him what he can say. It's like finding out John Wayne got his dick cut off. Before we get into that, Brett Mack with $20. Throw him a Hulkster. Thank you very much, Brett Mack.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
$20. Now, the person who gave that $20, are you doing that to piss off this Brett Mack person? Or are you just doing it to confuse? Either way, love it. Thank you. By the way, Justin Kemple says she was negative 20 years old when he won his first championship. Gives you perspective, doesn't it? By the way, that puts us $40 away from tonight. Hey, finish it off, boys and girls. You're doing great. Thank you very much. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Appreciate it. Here we go. We've got Belichick, CBS, and the new girlfriend. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that she's hideous or anything. I mean, she's a good-looking girl. But Jesus Christ, Bill, she doesn't have to be in the interview. She doesn't have to tell you what you can and can't talk about. You're Bill goddamn Belichick, dude.
Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there.
Everybody in the world seems to be following.
You know what? I do have to say, fucking respect to old man Belichick. He really, if you followed his career, he hates the media. He despises them. He really does. When he used to give press conference, it was one-word answers because the NFL made you go talk to the press. He'd answer like the bare minimum amount of questions. They'd be yes or no, and then he'd be out. Shows up for this interview with CBS Sunday Morning in a tattered, beat-up, torn, Holy Navy sweatshirt. I got to say, I like Brady more than I like Belichick, but that doesn't mean I dislike Belichick. I like him. And the older he gets, the more you can like him. When he was like in his 50s and he was a fucking prick, he's just an asshole. But if you're old and you're a prick, it's kind of funny.
Following this relationship, they've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Look at her, though. She's like staring right at, like she's just got that vibe, like she's ready to jump in that interview at any time. You know? And I kind of hate her for it because I'm kind of living vicariously through Bill right now. It's obnoxious to be with someone who feels like they're entitled to something you built long before they were there. I had that experience and I bit my tongue for years. I bit my tongue for a long time, hoping it would just fix itself. But to have someone fucking coast on something you built and act like they did it with no appreciation, with no anything, that really fucking can drive you nuts. And I'm sure it's going to drive Bill nuts at some point. But right now he's got young Quim, and that can hypnotize you sometimes. But she is staring right at this interview like she's ready to jump in at any time. Dude, I don't even feel like Ghislaine Maxwell. No, oh shit, Brady's wife, not Ghislaine Maxwell. Gisele Bundchen. Holy shit. I don't even think Brady's wife, who he had fucking children with, did he not? I know he had them with the chick from iRobot, but also Gisele. They had a family. They had children together. She wouldn't step in an interview and be like, now, Tom, you don't have to answer that. But she feels entitled? Lady. Like Kemple said, you were negative 20 when this motherfucker won his first Super Bowl.
Not talking about this.
Oh,
No.
It's a topic neither one.
Wow. Go back. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Guys meet.
Not talking about this.
No.
No.
It's a topic.
See, like right there, you can fucking leave then. We're not talking about this. There is no we, bitch. This is Bill Belichick talking about his career and his life, which you jumped into 5 minutes ago. This is some landed on third base and feels like they hit a triple shit.
Neither one of them is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great.
So the young chick, so Bill Belichick didn't want to be on any social media, but the 25-year-old made him do it. What do you two have in common? Let's be real honest. What do you two have in common? What do you talk about? Your money?
Great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction
I like her better with a hook in her mouth.
been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing.
What he's trying to say, Bill, but he's being too nice to say it, is what does it feel like to be a pussy-whipped old man who's going back on everything you've ever been a hard ass about because some fucking grad student pulled on your prick a little bit? That's what he's trying to ask nicely. But don't worry, Bill, you won't have to answer that because she won't let you.
I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're
but you will be in a couple of weeks.
Balancing Jordan on your feet, and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
No, that's not. No. I do that with my children. That's called the airplane. You hold them by the hands. You put your feet into their stomach, and then you push them up and hold them up, and then they go, I'm an airplane. That's something fathers do with their like toddler age children. Bill.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
What he does follow isn't clicks or views, but touchdowns and, above all, wins.
You do seem like...
Now, is he going to ask Bill if North Carolina is going to be running like a 3-4 defense, a 4-3, a NASCAR package, a 4-6, is a 5-2 perhaps? Or should we just ask the girlfriend what the defense is going to be at UNC this year? Because I'd like to know, just so I can handicap the ACC.
Like you're having a lot more fun these days than you were in other chapters of your life, let's say.
I enjoy football. I enjoy the whole process of it. It's hard to win, and it's hard to beat other good coaches, good teams. I appreciate the grind. I appreciate the competition. But coaching's fun, and honestly, I feel like I haven't worked a day in my life.
That's creepy. It is weird when Bill Belichick shows human emotion. It doesn't look right. You know what? I'm going to say this. I hope he's happy. I hope he's enjoying himself in his golden years. I like angry prick asshole, one note, one answer, Bill Belichick, more than I like this Bill Belichick. That's what I like better. Sam Show says, this was just a way for Aaron to argue with a woman again. He loves doing that shit. What? What are you talking about? Crowder Wears Panties says, Bill don't care. He puts his dick in her. But I mean, that shit about her being in the interview and piping up and saying, we ain't going to talk about that. That shit, let me tell you something. That shit doesn't work long term. You can shake that shit off short term, but that's something, that dictatorial shit, that snowballs. I'm telling you right now. Sam Show says, didn't you say you were doing yoga today, Aaron? I did say I would do some DDP yoga today if the weather was too bad, but the weather was good. I went to the gym. I got 10 rounds in, got some planks in, got some lifting in. No sauna today. I'll say this. I think I got to get out of that sauna. My legs felt so much fresher today. The rounds went off without a hitch. Everything, I was sharper. I was faster. I use that sauna as like how I loosen up instead of like, not being a lazy bastard and stretching and, doing some calisthenics. I'll just go in the sauna and I'll go, I'm warmed up. I'm good. Today was better. Chad Buzamok says, fuck, he needs to record yoga and play it on the show. Oh, man, I can crush a DDP yoga workout. I would gladly film myself doing DDP yoga and play it for you on the show, Buzamok. Maybe for a members-only show one day. I won't even do a show. I'll just, I'll go on. I'll fire up the video of me doing DDP yoga, and I'll walk away until it's done. How does that sound? Gray Duckling says, so just gay yoga then. It's not gay yoga. It's DDP yoga. It's totally different. McBuster says, planks are for women. What the fuck? Pickleball next? All right, you know what? You're pushing me to the very, very fucking edge here. Very edge. MSO says, Aaron, let's visit Johnny and Digger. You know what? We got a half hour left in regulation. Let's go to Johnny and Digger. We'll do this. We'll either go to Johnny and Digger at 8 o'clock, or we'll go to Johnny and Digger once the goal is hit, whichever comes first. Does that sound good? $40 away, by the way. Not much left for tonight. Go ahead and throw in. Gifted memberships are the currency of the day today because we are really starting to climb in those. So let's strike while the iron is hot. No, it's not. No, Sam Show, it's not called double dick penetration yoga. That's not what it's called. That is not what it stands for. It's Diamond Dallas Page yoga. You got to believe me. You've got to. I wish we would have just let this fucking guy die, and not because he's Chinese. That's like the 14th thing wrong with him in this story. A Chinese man living in Japan, oh boy, attempted to summit Mount Fuji, but unfortunately for him, Fuji had the volcanic dust reach into the bag, threw it into his eyes, it blinded him, and then Yokozuna gave him the bonsai drop, and it was curtains. I did that joke for 4 people. A Chinese man living in Japan attempted to summit Mount Fuji and had to be rescued last Tuesday. And then he had to be rescued again on Saturday because the fucker went back up to get his phone. Now, as a man who's lost a phone in the last year, sometimes you just got to let it go and go get yourself a new one. Especially if it's on Mount fucking Fuji when these rescue workers, I hate it when people treat rescue workers like they're diner waitresses. Like, that's their job. It's their job to put their lives on the line to rescue your retarded ass. So why not just have them at your beck and call every day? Yeah, I had to be pulled off this mountain once. Why don't I go back up? I mean, if I get lost, they'll just come get me again. I think you get one save on each mountain in your entire life. And when you get saved one time, that's your warning. All right, I can't do this. I'm not cut out for this. I'm going to pass next time. You go back up there again and you get lost again or you get stuck again. Sorry, you're going to be that skeleton that they pass by as they climb up the mountain. So the man actually reached the summit on Tuesday, completing the climb in one piece, but got some altitude sickness, meaning he had to be rescued from the peak. So not only did he have to be rescued, but probably from the most dangerous part of the mountain. Thanks, Dick. After he recovered, the man returned to the mountain that weekend because he left his cell phone there. Okay, cool. You can absolutely do that. You can go up there, you can get your cell phone, but you're getting yourself down. Those are the rules. Authorities say the man's life is not in danger from the double bout with altitude sickness. However, his wallet could be in danger as the man illegally climbed the mountain out of season and without a permit twice in a single week. I mean, yeah, I like this. So they're going to fine him the amount of resources that he used, that the rescue workers had to use to come and get him. I think that's only fair. Although I agree with Brian, second time is on you. The second time should absolutely be on you. You pay, you cover. Even then, I don't think they should come get, even if you're paying for it. I don't think just because you have money, you shouldn't be allowed to just put other people's lives in danger. Best of luck to you. We'll see you if you make it to the bottom. Gray Duckling with $10 says, I'll see a bigger for $10. I don't know what that means. Oh, I think he meant digger. All right, $30 away. We're either knocking out that 30 or at 8 o'clock, we're going to go watch Johnny and Digger. Whatever you guys decide comes first. Thank you, Gray. Where does that put Gray in the grand scheme of things? Still firmly in third place at $55. Thank you guys very much. 30 away from today, and you guys have made it real nice and easy. The perfect audience for the perfect show. I'm sorry to all the fat diabetics in the audience. Patrick, if you're here, I apologize for this next one. Although he doesn't really seem like a Skittles guy. Skittles probably seem like one of those snacks he passes on because the packaging is too small. I mean, when you got those fat, gelatinous hands where you can't even see the knuckles anymore because the fat's grown over it, you can't open a little Skittles package anymore. And plus, I mean, that'll barely, get your appetite going when you got that fat of a gas tank and, those sores, they don't absorb the sugar very well. So Skittles might not be his thing, but we might not have to worry about Skittles at all because with RFK Jr.'s latest crusade on these artificial food dyes, it could actually mean the end of Skittles. Skittles is actually now doing research on what they can use outside of food dyes to maintain the vibrant color of their snack foods. Without these dyes, Skittles might turn into like a dull, weird, like warm colored kind of a candy. Consumer advocacy group said there is sufficient evidence that the dyes may cause some harm to children. So RFK Jr. is asking them to be the ones with no nutritional value. So if you can't prove that they provide nutritional value, they got to go. Skittles is now saying that this could put their entire business model in jeopardy. Now, I feel for Skittles. I don't love Skittles. I don't dislike Skittles. But it's very telling that we're going to have a lot of snack foods. And like, imagine the amount of foods that you looked at as like quasi-healthy that are now going to come out with this artificial food dye thing and go, I really don't know what we're going to do because our whole thing is basically based on artificial food dyes. And you're like, well, wait a minute, but I thought you were kind of healthy. I mean, we're healthy-ish, but you mean you can't recreate your product without artificial food dyes with no nutritional value? That is correct. So what have we been eating all this time? Well, we've been eating shit. And the standards have been lowered so much as to what's considered healthy. I mean, you've seen the food pyramid. Jesus Christ. If someone actually followed that and ate the amount of carbs that was like requested in that food pyramid, you'd be fucking dead. Dan Vicious with $5 says, let's do a roll call, tip $1 and say where you're watching from. I'm in the birthplace of critical race theory, Madison, Wisconsin. Is that true? Madison, Wisconsin's where they came up with critical race theory? Well, hey, Sam Show, there you go, buddy. That's who you're mad at. Madison, Wisconsin. Dusty with $1. Yes, I agree. Without steel toe, he'd probably be dead in a ditch right now. And that's where he'll be if he ever stops talking steel toe. And he knows that. I'm the sunk cost fallacy. He can't leave it alone, which means steel toe wins forever. Redbird with $1. That's why he crashes out whenever you mention it. Says, you lost any ability to call anyone's hobby gay after you decided allowing another man to lick and kiss your face and willingly climb into bed with said man sounded like a fun time. Didn't sound like a fun time. It's just that I was only there for something else. He was the queer who thought it was love and affection and blah. Bro, that ain't what I'm here for. That ain't what I'm here for. Sorry, Chief. Thank you very much, Dan Vicious. I appreciate that. 25 is the number now, and then we'll go off and we'll see what's up with our friends. Johnny and Digger are on right now. Is he going to be ready for tomorrow? Because Johnny was fucking wiped today towards the end of the show. Like, he was yawning and like, I get it. I can be a windy motherfucker. But like, is he up talking to this Digger all the time and staying up till all hours of the night and doing whatever? And I don't know. I'm starting to think, what's up with Johnny? Sean Lenane with $1 says, Faribault, Minnesota. Not proud of it. Oh, I didn't know we were actually going to do like the roll call, where are you from thing. All right, I can go for it. Dub with $1 says $1 holla. MSO says Digger will be going off soon. Well, let's knock out that $23 or so that we got left, if I'm estimating. And we'll be able to go there. Sam Show says they turn the stream off and keep doing that retarded fag shit. What retarded? Like talking to each other? I don't know. All I know is I know Johnny has said no on the show before, but those two are doing the you hang up first, no, you hang up first, no, you hang up first thing, right? Like, they're doing the, oh yeah, no, I just put the phone on the pillow so I can hear you breathing. Just fucking, would the two of you just jack off and go to bed? Jesus Christ, monkey balls. McBuster says, you missed it. I didn't miss anything. If it works out, it works out. If not, it doesn't. What are you going to do? All right, this story makes me feel old as shit. This one really makes me feel like an old man, but at the same time, kind of makes me feel wanted. Apparently, millennials are now giving Gen Z...
We want the gold, sucker! Hulk Hogan! We coming for...
I'm going to figure that out one of these days. Millennials are giving Gen Z advice for their first potential recession. Now, I remember my first recession. I don't know if you guys do. I don't my fellow millennials. My first recession was awesome. Dude, I was like 21. What are we talking? 2008. Yeah, I was 21 years old. I'm 21. I just started working in radio. Wasn't making a ton of money, doing like baseball play-by-plays and football play-by-plays to, pump up the income. And all of a sudden, towards the end of like October of 2008, like overnight, gas went from $4.10 to like $1.50 again. And you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Now, because at 21, you don't have investments. You don't have retirement accounts. You don't have a job you've had for the last 25 years. You're low man on the totem pole. You just got in. They're not going to let you go first. So the recession for millennials ruled. Houses got super cheap because everyone was getting kicked out of their homes. Everyone was being foreclosed on. And we were just looking to get into the market. And what did the president say? Hey, are you broke as fuck? And we were like, sure are. And he said, I'll give you $8,000. Was it $8,000? I think $8,000 to move into a house. Buy a house. We'll give you $8,000 on us. And we were like, is this a fucking joke? Is this? Nah, go ahead. And then the housing market started to recover. Well, I was a little young. I wasn't ready for a house yet. I looked in Litchfield. I looked for a house, but I didn't buy anything. Well, then a few years later, all of those tax rebates went away. And the housing market fucking tanked again. So then you've got 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,800 square foot houses for like $130,000. Scoop that motherfucker up, and your first mortgage is about $900, $850. Screaming deal. But interest rates, goddamn, man. I think I got my first house at like a 3.5% interest rate on a 30-year. It's insanity. It's craziness. So if you're going to ask millennials about our first recession, it fucking kicked ass. It really, it was awesome, our first recession. For everybody else, for like our parents and everyone who had like money and like investments and shit like it was terrible. It was awful. For us, we were like rats. We were like vultures just coming in there, picking the bones of everything else. So now we're giving advice to Gen Z on recessions. I guess this is if we're heading for a recession though, which by the way, this is a CNN article. They are so remember when Biden was president and it was so clear that economically we were in a recession. We even met the definition for recession. So they changed the definition. It's 2 quarters of consecutive negative growth. We got that. And they said, no, it's got to be 4. So we had a recession in the Biden years with the inflation and the rising interest rates and all that stuff. Interest is up and the stock market's down. You only get mugged if you go downtown. Well, we had that. And then the media wouldn't call it a recession. That recession didn't count. That recession was fake. The real recession is the one that Trump's bringing on with those goddamn tariffs. And I tell you what, he's wrecking everything. Let me tell you something. That stock market needs a correction. It's needed a correction for about 7 to 10 years. It went, well, some would argue 17 years. It's needed a correction because it was fueled by cheap money and it was fueled by printed, stimulus checks. So it's hard to really say that, this market rally was brought upon by anything tangential in the actual economy, especially on the consumer end of things. So now CNN can't wait to call this a recession. Now, Trump's only been in office for 100 days. Literally has not been enough time for a recession to be called. But they're ready to call it. They're saying, here it comes, Trump recession. They are right out there in front with it. And us millennials are supposed to give Gen Z advice. I would say this would be my advice. Now, to me, a recession needs to be home prices crash. People are being foreclosed on. There's mass layoffs. Like it's really, really bad. And if that's the case, buy the dip, baby. Get whatever money you got and buy that dip. Get your money in while it's good. Those housing prices coming down, good. Get in the market. Stock market falling apart, get some money in. That would be my advice to Gen Z. Don't let your emotion overtake you. Find a way to make it work for you. That's what millennials did. I believe boomers' advice for a recession is fuck everybody who isn't you. And you got to admit, you got to give it to the boomers. They lived it. They fucking lived it. Someone in the chat saying that 130 is cheap. Dude, that's what it was. I think Ashley and I bought our first house in 2012 in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota. $130,000. It was, I mean, they were just ridiculously cheap back then. Silver Wolf with $1. Thank you very much. Says Silver Wolf here. Typing to you live from Sartell, Minnesota, watching my gardener and butler take care of the yard. Redbird with $1 says after they gutted the market and strangled small business during COVID, the general attitude I'm seeing is fuck them. They can feel the pain for a change. Yeah. I just, this one sucks because this one was completely avoidable. But we had to shut down the economy. And then, after that, we had to, print up all this money we didn't have and hand it out to people so that they could be happy with the fucking printed money and inflation we gave them. Lovely. $20 away from today. Thank you guys very much for your contributions. Only 20 away, or in other words, 4 Rumble gifted memberships. So we got to our money. You know what I'm laughing at, and I'm going to get there. We got our number for YouTube today. We got the memberships we needed on YouTube. Let's keep going on Rumble, and we'll be at 1,000 combined memberships in no time. Thank you, guys. Buzamok, no. No. I'm not going to. I'm not. Why? Why would I? Let me ask you something. Why would I repeat to you something that you're obviously going to use to fuck me over? If I say, Buzamok, if I say what you want me to say, look me in the eye right now and tell me you're not going to use it to fuck with me. Go ahead. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me right now, Buzamok. You look me in the eye. You said, Aaron, you say what I want you to say. I won't use it to fuck you over. He said, you said it too fast both times. I can't make it say, I'm not going to say it right now. I'm not going to say it right now. Oh, he says promise. Well, in that case, D-E-F-U-C-K yourself, you cunt. Nothing personal. If you could still get me Karmic X for a 5-minute segment, that would be nice. Dusty Rhodes with $1 says Melton's streaming audio is absolute dog shit right now. He can't even snipe stream properly. 20 years in the biz, folks. The amount that guy needs steel toe is the ultimate victory for us. Not only that, the fact that don't anybody report him for just replaying shows. Don't anybody report him, his channel, nothing. He is inconsequential. And the fact that he needs steel toe like a mosquito needs an arm in the summertime is all the fucking juice that I need to get me up in the morning. It's fantastic. And you know what the other thing is? He's too scar-faced and retarded to know what that means. He still thinks that it's him looking good. I tell you, dude, I have the most retarded detractors, and it starts with King Tard right there. Fucked him up so bad that he has to do a weekly hug box session with his gay Pajit lover and his nerdy cover band IT guy. Fan-bloody-tastic. People saying, well, Melton is dog shit. Dude, I rescued him. I picked him up from the gutter. And then watching Melton today have to cope with the fact that he knows Rickade is a bitch And he texted Josh, he texted Null and was like, please take down the MN public records thing. Everyone in my family is going to know that I'm still being a dishonest piece of shit. Please, Josh, please. Josh hates your fucking guts and you've been a piece of shit to him. Why would he help you? In fact, you texting him makes him so happy, I'm sure, because he gets to watch you squirm. And now Patrick has to defend your hacky failure ass, your druggy ass, because he's too invested in steel toe. He can't call you out the way he would like to. He has to sacrifice his own honor, his own honesty because of me. Because of me. He has to get your back on something that he knows you're being a fag about. You two are in a hell of your own making. It's fantastic. Well, it's not your own making. I've done it to you. I'll take credit. Dan Vicious with $2 says, who are these incels refusing to admit they're watching from mom's basement? They have to live the cope at this point. I mean, Melton's own words. He was going to make it so I never hit go live again. And now he crashes out over shit I say more than anything else. He tried his best, but just like his stand-up career, failed at that too. And now he runs away crying. Anonymous Dono with $5 says, be smiley. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh my God, 15 away from tonight. Thank you guys very much. Dad Vet with $2 says, you used to tell us all the time how much you like WATP. I said the other day that I liked it too, that Carl is a great Opie. Carl's the Opie of that show. I said that last week even. Carl's the Opie of that show. He did break his own rule. He said, we just observe and report. We don't get involved. Carl got involved in gay ops and he kind of lost his way. And the issue is Carl's a dork and no one's ever paid attention to him before. And then when people started paying attention to him, he didn't know what to do. So he just kind of short-circuited. And then he turned into everything he told people not to be. But then again, he's a great Opie. He's the straight man, but he's not a funny guy. He did a great job of taking the Jocktober format, being Opie, and bringing funny people like me on to carry the load for him. I was honored to do it every time I did. I was happy to make his shows for him. Because, you do a show with Carl, you know in the first minute that you're going to have to carry it because this is just, this is a guy who's got no timing, no comedic skill. He can just, he's monkey see, monkey do. He's an IT guy. He's an IT guy who can just look at something and go, let me try to be that. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you can admit that to yourself. Von Kaiser with $2 says, for the Desert Fox. Wow, $2 for Erwin Rommel. Thank you very much, buddy. Are we doing the dollar at a time thing now? Is that what we're doing? All right, then we're $12 away. There you go. If you guys want to do that bit, I'm all for it. 12 is the number if we're doing this a buck or two at a time. Thank you, Loopy, for the one as well. Appreciate it. All right, let's get into... Buzamok said he had something for me. Oh, boy. What did Chad do? Does he do this every day? Chad Buzamok does this. It's called Wet-Brained Follies. And he just does a clip of Chad every day. I told Buzamok I would play this for him. Is this an everyday thing that he does? Oh, you want to? Should we do it? Syndicate says change the scrolling banner. I can change the scrolling banner. Let's knock out that last 12 and we'll change the scrolling banner. What do you say? McBuster says Carl's a cringy gay F word whose mom/wife likely makes him piss sitting down. That's not very nice. How dare you? It's funny. Chad Buzamok says, yes, I try to do it every day. It's a tough watch. How is my boy Chad doing? How's he handling the KB firing? Does he know it's temporary? Does he know that Brennan will come around like he always does and he'll be Team Chad again? Buzamok, how do you only have 361 followers? That's a goddamn crime. That ain't fair. I don't do anything on Twitter. I do nothing. I maybe tweet 3 to 5 times a week. I use it for show prep, and I'm at like 6,000 followers, which is not a lot. But like Buzimok actually produces something. That's a crime that he's at 3 something. All right, let's check this out. Chad Buzimok, wet-brained follies. On today's episode of Chad Zumach, Wet-Brained Follies, Chad mimicking Ray bitches, delete tweets hypocrisy, threatening whose nice name stupid. I don't know any of these people. I'm going to skip to the next one. Wet-Brained Follies. Chad almost gets the $100 penny sponsor correct. I don't know what that is. Backtracks on his statement of all the effort he puts into his shows, plus more hypocrisy. Oh, here he is begging old donors to come back. Okay, I'll do this one. I got to be honest with you, Buzimok. If you don't know anything about this stuff, I don't like really feel the need to, like, I just feel like the audience is going to rebel and hate this. I feel like they're just going to think this is stupid. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what Chad's been up to.
Are like still saying it's unbelievable that he's back on radio. It's not. It's not. I was trying to get a radio show as a goof, just to make fun of it. And I got fucking turned the fuck down.
Well, then, wait a minute. That kind of defeats the purpose of what you're saying. He's saying, people are like, wow, it's crazy that Anthony got on radio again. He's like, no, it's not. Like insinuating it's easy. And then going, I tried to get a radio gig. I got turned down. Dude, I just pled guilty to a misdemeanor. I got a $50 fine. It was all over the news here in Minnesota. It was big news. I still have a radio meeting in 2 weeks before I go on vacation. Like I've still got 2 different companies on the line. One that I really want to work with. The other one is, I should shut the fuck up. I just realized that was a dumb thing. You don't want to trash one. Well, they don't know which one they are. But like, this thing would have been done if it wasn't for, Nick's revenge charge that he needed to get because he's still bitter about the one that got away. But so Chad's trying to say that it's not surprising. It's easy to get on radio, and then goes, and oh yeah, I tried to get on radio and I couldn't. That kind of defeats what you're trying to say. I see why you call this wet-brained follies now.
I quit applying for jobs. It's hard. It's hard to apply for jobs.
So now he does this thing where if you give him $100 a month, he'll promote whatever you want to promote, which I actually think that's a really interesting idea. I'm not going to shit on that. I think that's actually kind of fascinating.
Aaron is promoting Peggy and the Big Dork YouTube channel.
It's Penny and the Big Dork.
I drank Friday. Nick Swartzen got mad at me because he doesn't drink anymore. He was pissed. I'm like, man, I used to drink with you all the time. Now you hate drinking. I don't get it.
This is hard to follow.
I reached out to Deadfool. He's fine.
I thought Deadfool was David Chandler. I always thought that Deadfool and Chandler were the same guy. Oh, I guess I was wrong. I just don't belong. But then I've been there before.
Shout out to Deadfool. I was concerned. He's going through something. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Why would you do that? Like, why would you be like, oh, this guy hasn't donated in a long time. So, by the way, that's why you checked in on him. You wanted him to donate to your show. So you went to go check on him and be like, are you going to? That's fucking mean. That's a shitty thing to do. Is be like, oh, this guy hasn't given me money in a long time. Why don't I go feign concern? And then you go right to the guy. And then you tell everybody in your audience, oh, he's going through some shit right now, which I'm sure he wanted the 200 people watching you to hear.
Mike sent over a nice Venmo. Shout out to Mike. And Lisa sent one over to Cash App.
By the way, I think this is kind of a cope. I think when people go, yeah, fake. I don't know. Like, I will say this. I have never faked a donation in my life, hand to God. Everyone that comes in, comes in. I know it's inconvenient for some people. I know they don't like that. Never faked one. And I don't think Chad would either. Why would someone pretend that money that they're not getting is coming in, which is going to make people less likely to continue contributing? Well, I guess he doesn't have a goal. We have a set number, and once we hit it, we're like, okay, stop, done, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't. But still, I don't, people have this thing that's like an A-log cope of like people who hate Chad are like, oh, he's totally faking it. It's like, okay, what evidence do you have that he's faking it other than you'd really like him to be faking it? I ask you that.
Just in case you don't believe me.
Why would you show them?
Hold on, let me see if I can.
See, now, okay, you know what? I'm sorry, Boozamak. I apologize to you. That makes me believe that some of the donations are fake. That you're showing. Like, if you're showing them, that makes me a little iffy. That makes me feel a little iffy. Oh, yeah, Boozamak says, because when Chad gets sit, he shows it, a.k.a. let it play a second. Yeah, okay, I get it. I can see where you're coming from there. Steven Bravo with $2 says, been a while, Toe. Happy go fuck yourself day. Bravo, I missed you, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, guys, a whopping $10 away from tonight. Thank you guys very much for a very easy evening show. This one has been a lot of fun and simple to get through. You guys were great this morning as well. MSO says, how about a documented history of lying? Well, I guess I can't argue with you there either. Yeah, but like Melton has a documented history of lying. Rekida's got a document. I mean, that guy, Jesus Christ, if his lips are moving. But like, Chad seems to get, well, no, I guess Rekieta gets a lot of shit for lying. People don't believe a word he says, so that's fair. But like, Chad seems to get policed harder than others. I will say, like, you guys are in that universe. So you guys are like watching the shit and you've got your favorites and your anti-favorites and you kind of pick on one and leave the other alone. I can sit back because I'm outside of it all and kind of pick it all apart like that. So I don't really know if Chad is, I don't know if Chad's more of a liar than any of them. I really don't. I think they're all obsessed with streaming, obsessed with podcasting, and they don't have a life outside of that world, except Chad, who still does comedy. And like, this is all they have. So I don't know if Chad has more impetus to lie or is any less believable than any of the rest of them, to be honest. Syndicate with $10 says, change that banner. All right, hold on. Let me get this banner copied and pasted somewhere so I don't have to retype it. Let me scroll down. Boom. There we go. We'll save that. And then here we go. There we go. That's a fact, Jack. Let's space that out a little bit here. There we go. You paid for it, Syndicate. There you go. Our new banner for overtime tonight as we knocked out tonight's goal, and it's another win for the Toe. Enjoy. Read the banner. Check it out. Just Joy is seething about it. Whoever gifted me wasted their money. Oh, Just Joy, just admit you backed the wrong horse and stop being a queer for 5 minutes for once in your goddamn life, you fucking pussy. Just accept that we're making fun of you and this is all just a gag directed at you and you'll be fine. We've got, oh, gross. We have a little drama going on at the Minnesota State Capitol. I'm going to have to look into that for tomorrow. We've got, Oh, wow. Terrance Howard now saying, God, he's all over the place. He's saying that he passed on a Marvin Gaye movie. He didn't want to play Marvin Gaye in a movie. He got offered it, but he turned it down because he says Marvin Gaye was a homosexual and Terrance Howard doesn't play gay people because he feels it takes away his man card. Again, I got to say, Terrance Howard, fucking based. Like, Terrance Howard has his morality, and he sticks to it. Whether you like it, whether you agree with it, whether you think it's antiquated or not, I've gained a lot of respect. I used to think Terrance Howard was just a Looney Tune. I thought he was just a crazy guy. I gotta say, he's a guy. He's got an old school mentality, but he's got a morality, and he's got principles, and. Chad Buzamak says, clip on X why the scrolling banner can turn bad. All right, let's check it. Dad Vet with $2 says, who are your top 3 worst Dabbleverse podcasts? I don't know enough of them. Like, I don't know who any of them are, to be honest with you. So I couldn't rank them. I don't know. I'm not well versed in it. Like, while you guys are on with me and you go, check out this clip, check out this Karmic X guy, check out that. That's what I know. I know what you guys send to this show or what you guys tag me in on Twitter or show me on Twitter. Other than that, I don't see any of it. Nothing. All right, where is it, Buzamak? Okay, wait a minute. We got to change this up. Hold on. Let's go ahead and let's do a little something here. Let's go. Let's, boom. And then we've got to pause it from there. Thank you, Buzamak. That was very, very helpful. Let's go properties. Let's go filters. And let's turn... There we go. Buzamak's my buddy. He helped me out on that one. Thank you, pal. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for being able to show me the error of my ways. Leah says, seriously, how the fuck do you buy a membership on this gay platform? I shouldn't have to search 20 minutes to figure this out. Let me see. Oh, fuck. I was going to tell you that it was... Oh, there's a button that says subscribe. Yeah, but now how do I get away from this thing? Oh, there we go. So on the bottom left of the chat, if you just go... there's a $sign, there's a gift box, and there's subscribe. That's all you got to do. Pick the subscribe one. And you got yourself your membership. You know how I said that CNN was like... was being super shitty to Trump, and they're shitty to Trump, but they're shitty to Trump in a way that, like, they're rooting for America to get hurt. Oh, Leah says it's not on the app. Well, someone gift a membership, and maybe it'll go to Leah. That would be nice of you. But, like, well, this one, Mediaite and CNN both, I guess, did this article. And CNBC. So this is by Alex Griffin, who I guess got shared on all of these platforms. Everything they're posting about, like, Trump and the stock market and tariffs and everything else is, like, basically rooting for a recession. They're essentially going, oh, man, yeah, like, well, that article we did a little bit ago where they go, millennials are having to lecture Gen Z and teach Gen Z about how to handle their first recession. It's like, motherfucker, we ain't in one yet. And they went through one with Biden. They just never got it diagnosed. You know, it's like if you get over a flu, but you never went to the doctor, you still had the flu. Now, in this case, you have them essentially rooting for the stock market to go to shit under Trump. Trump's first 100 days on track to be worst for the stock market since Nixon. This doesn't sound like, hey, America can pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Hey, America's going to be okay. We're going to make sure this thing gets worked out. This really sounds like they're going, this could be the worst since Nixon. This could be the worst stock market we've had since, this could be it. President Trump's first 100 days in office have been the worst start to any elected president's term since the 1970s, which were rife with geopolitical chaos and domestic upheaval. CNBC's Sarah Min reported Monday on the findings from CFRA Research, an independent investment research firm that tracked the performance of the S&P 500 dating back to Harry Truman. So I wonder how many different places they had to go, how many different research places they had to go to, how many different stock indexes they tracked to get the numbers to say what they needed them to say. Like, did they go to one place and it said that he's like the third worst or the seventh worst? And they were like, no, fuck that. That's not good enough. We need it to be worse than that. And then they finally got to this CFRA research firm and they went, oh yeah, worst S&P 500 since Richard Nixon. And like, okay, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're going to print. It's just, even when Biden was president and shit was going poorly, I'm going to be honest, I rooted for him. I wanted him to do a good job. I didn't think he was going to. I didn't think that Richard Nixon was going to do, or Richard Nixon, or Joe Biden was going to do a good job, but I didn't want the country to fall the fuck apart. Like, I didn't want the country to go to shit. These people are reporting on Donald Trump like they're like, hey guys, guess what? We found a research firm that says Donald Trump fucking sucks and he's got the worst economy since fucking Nixon. And meanwhile, the rest of us are like, yeah, asshole, we have to live in this economy. Like, this isn't as awesome for you or as awesome for us as it is for you. This is shit for us. Royston S. Bailey with $2. I'm going to say any day now, Royston. We're just waiting on the call. Sean Lenane with a gifted membership. Oh, Dad Vet got it. Ah, shit. Leah, still looking for that membership. Couldn't find it on the phone app. Hopefully she can get it. Thank you guys for continuing to contribute. Past the goal. We certainly do appreciate it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Do you realize those bootlaces look just like your hair? A little bit. They kind of do. I don't know, though. My hair's got a little more springiness to them. I don't know if. Yeah, that's a little hardened there, Just Joy. Also, get better at talking shit. You just kind of sound like you're one of us, which is what you should be, so you don't have to be a pedo apologist. It's a long way to go just because you don't like me, buddy. I'm pretty fucking powerful. No, Boozamak. I don't mean Dad Vet got it. Shit. I don't mean like I don't want Dad Vet to have one of our memberships. I meant Leah was asking for one. Sean Lenane gave her the membership, and I was rooting for Leah to get it. That's all. McBuster says Melton finally fixed the crackle and said into the mic, "Stupid roadcaster." What a total stupid. He is maybe the dumbest guy out there. Owning Patrick Melton over the course of the last year or two has not been difficult. You just literally let the guy go because everyone, literally it's unanimous outside of his little hug box of his Discord. You should see everywhere else. They just call him the nastiest shit, pedophile. Like and a lot of it, there's audio to back it up. There's video to back it up. We've played it on this show. But boy, do they hate his guts. I mean, they just demean him and beat the shit out of him. That's why he goes to Discord and all those hug boxes. Because when he was a kid, he got bullied really, really badly. And that's what all that shit reminds him of. And he can't face it. It's the reason he cried and ran off stage and stopped doing stand-up. He can't handle the bullying. That's why he left the internet and the world basically for a year when Red Bar beat the shit out of him. And now we make him crash out on a regular basis. But you know what? The nice thing for him is his audience will always forgive him for crashing out because they're not there for him. They're there for me. And that's why he can't leave. He wants to stop doing steel toe really bad. He wants to prove that he can do a show that people will watch. But he can't. I'm his sunk cost fallacy. I'm his Stalingrad. And he's the German Sixth Army. Sorry, Paulus. It ain't going to work for you either. Let's go to JH says Aaron Melton's favorite movies are Little Children and Lolita. I thought those were just his two favorite things. Brett Mack says, I just want a good woman with a huge ass to lay up with after a hard day of work and suck face and eat her out. Jesus Christ, man. Just relax a little bit. Fuck, that got weird. I mean, it's fine to think it. It's just that, when you come in here with a room full of mostly guys, and by the way, suck face. What are you, a boomer? My dad used to say suck face. He says, what? Is that too much to ask, for fuck's sake? It's not too much for to ask. It's maybe just a little too much to throw at us. Especially since we're winding down. We got like 5-10 minutes left. You can't tell that I'm clearly bringing this thing in for a landing and kind of powering down. Oh, by the way, don't listen to that thing up top. Goal's been knocked out. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave that up there. I apologize. You guys are over for tomorrow night anyway. Aboliticious gifting a membership, and it went to Leah. There we go. There we go. That makes me happy. Yeah, Bambi Rose says TMI. Yeah. I don't know if you want to come in here, like with the audience we have, I don't know if you want to come into this chat and go, man, I'm just looking for someone with a big ass that I can make out with and eat their pussy. I don't know if you're going to find a lot of takers here. There's a lot of sweaty man ass in this room. I don't think you're going to get the clientele you want in that case. Oh, you know what I have? Oh, shit. I meant to do this tonight, and now we don't have time. What's his name? The guy we fucking killed last week that we embarrassed, and he had to make up a bunch of shit. Oh, yeah. Will Heron. Will Heron went on the guy in the wheelchair who dove in the pool, the Quadfather show. And he went on the Quadfather show, and he was losing it and coping and seething about the steel toe stuff. And he had to finally admit, he's like, well, I don't know that Aaron called my boss, but so basically he wanted to believe it because he got caught editing the interview. Then he got caught pulling down the interview. And then, we had our fun with him, and Will literally sent me a message and goes, I need to squash this right now. We need to squash this stuff. Can I come on your show? Begged me to come on Steel Toe. And I'm like, fuck no, dude. We're enjoying this way too much. You're mine, bitch. After all the big talking he did. Here's the thing about Will. Will got caught up with the cokehead, and he bought his bullshit, and he played Goebbels, and he was useful. And Will thought he was going to find a buddy. Will thought, Nick and I are going to be friends. And Nick's like, bitch, I'm using you to get my lies out there. If I keep saying it, people are going to know it's a lie. But if it's filtered through you and you just say my source, then I can get my lies out and it sounds like you. But then people kind of discovered that Will was full of shit too. And now he's having to backtrack on everything. And then he left Melton and Carl in the cold. So on their AIDS Face and Cope show, they had to say, oh, well, maybe SP sent an email. Guys, are we this desperate? Come on. Just admit, like everything else, you got it wrong, and it's another win for the toe. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's too easy with you guys. I like poking you a little bit because you can't do shit. But no, Will was on BYB, and he it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Dad, maybe we can get to it tomorrow. There's too many clips for right now. But yeah, he had to admit that he didn't know if it was me and he didn't think it was me. He also said, oh yeah, I drink a lot, but I drink because the news is so bad. Shut the fuck up. Because the news is bad. You're in the fucking bayou, asshole. What happened? Did some fucking yokel get his hand caught in a fan boat? Fuck off. The news is so bad. Me and Jim Parker have to drink together. No, you have to drink because you paid 10 grand for fucking Mexican donkey teeth that look ridiculous. And now you have to drink so you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, they don't look that bad. Nick, tell me I'm pretty. That's why you drink, Will. Dad Vet gifting a subscription. This one to Plague Bringer. I love that name. Gifted a membership by Dad Vet. Royston with $2. Hey, thank you, buddy. He says, for being this smug. Dude, these people didn't know this when they started in with me. I'm the most smug, not take anything seriously prick there fucking is. That's why you can't win. Because I'm a fucking irredeemable asshole. And it's fantastic. And the more serious these guys get, the more I just get to fuck with them. I saw Alyssa put a clip up today where Nick was like, you wouldn't, something, it was something to the effect of like, you wouldn't say that shit to my face if I was in public. I'd slap the fucking dog shit out of you. Stop it. All of them would. Jesus. Do you look in the mirror, girl shoulders? Like you intimidate anybody. Please. Open hand slap the dog shit out of you. Every one of them would and could if you tried to walk your little baby nuts around the corner. Stop it. Stay in your fucking basement where you're safe. Because if you try to step to anyone like that ever, they'd backhand a piss out of you and there ain't a goddamn thing you could do about it. All right, let's go. Leah says it won't let me gift one, but I promise to gift one tomorrow to start a train. I'm not going to say that I love trains at all. I'm not going to say that because Buzamak will take that and he'll do something fucking weird with it. Now, wait a minute. Buzamak has another clip for us. It says anything for the goal, including Aaron recording DP. Well, no, wait a minute. I did not do that. Buzamak, what the fuck did you do? I want you to print a retraction right now. Let's see what he did. I would gladly film myself doing DP. Barely. You know what? I'm not taking offense to this one, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not your best work. It's not your best. I would gladly film myself doing DP. It just sounds like I'm saying P or EP. It doesn't sound... I see what you mean now when you said I didn't give you much to work with on that one. I get it. I get it. Should I feel like I should give the man a gift. Because he tried really hard to make that work. And it didn't work. He said, you said it so quickly, I couldn't get the D and... No. That was that fucking close. That fucking close. By the way, I want to congratulate Just Joy for coming in here and coping all show long. He made it the whole way like Ric Flair in the Royal Rumble. Attaboy. Attaboy. You made it. You're a toe boy now. Okay, you know what? They're saying give it to him. They're saying that I should give it to Buzamak. That he deserved it for trying so hard. What do you think? By the way, what'd we end up hitting today? 346. Very nice. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. He says, it's not my best. You're right. You give me plenty of gay shit. Said to clip that I forced one. It's okay. I do it all the time. I force entire shows because I don't have shit. Have you heard the last 30 minutes of today's program? Exactly. Now, What do you think? Should I give Buzmak what he's looking for before we leave tonight? Lenane says you're a daisy if you don't. How about this? If Buzmak gifts a membership, in the spirit of goodwill, I will give him what he needs to make his clip. What do you think? By the end of tonight's show, if he gifts a membership, he can script it out and I will give him what he needs for his clip because he tried so fucking hard to make that one happen. Leah says, he never will. Well, we'll see. That's fine because he may not need it that bad. He may not need it. Let's see what Buzmak has to say. He can, like I said, he can script it. I'll be a good sport. I'll say what he needs. I'll help him out. Sam Show says, well, now Chad has to up the ante. Jesus Christ, Bocephus the Negromancer. Chad Buzmak says, I can't remake it now. It's out there in the verse. I will get it one day when you're not expecting it. The train one may work better. Mega Princess. Oh, wow. He's going down in views, huh? Wasn't he at 60? So his views have dropped. Nick's views have dropped by over 50%. And that's like on a popular trial. Imagine what it's going to be when there's no trial. It's going to be fucking less than half that number. Yikes. Is he still bleeding like 1,000 subscribers a day? That's fucking brutal. And now he's like censoring all his chats. He's totally killed them all. He's like trying to make it all locals because people are just beating the piss out of him. And most of those views are people just there to fucking clown him. Brutal. Brutal. Well, you know, don't get arrested for an ounce of coke. Throw your fucking life away. Live like a degenerate and let your kid get into your coke. And then shit like that won't happen to you. What do you do? All right, guys, take it easy. That's it for tonight. A lot of fun, pretty chill show. I appreciate it. And then tomorrow morning, we'll be back at 6 a.m. Central. I hope Johnny gets some sleep and he's not talking to that digger lady for the next, few hours. I hope he's getting some good shut-eye, as it were. Take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your night. Talk to you tomorrow morning.